It has been a while since we have seen the bottom of my exposure unit. And yeah, do you remember the power board? Well, anyway, we want to get that controller in. And the idea is that the controller will sit somewhere around. And you see, I have a little bit trouble here, but of course with the USB port accessible sticking out. And it has to be that slot. Well, not absolutely, but it would be nice if it would be that slot, because first the width is exactly right, and second the reset switch cable. Yeah, I don't have much space here or to maneuver. So yeah, but there's already a problem. I can't get the controller to fit in here to that slot because the programming pins are colliding with that firewall here. I call it a firewall. I have no idea what it is. It's obviously forming a compartment between this part, which was the controller board, and the old power board, and where all the interface connectors were. So yeah, anyway, this plastic part here is in the way, and I hope cutting out a notch just big enough to take that header here is enough, so I can position the board in here. And if that doesn't work, I have to make a bigger notch to accommodate the whole shape of the Arduino. We'll see. I get out my Proxon. So I ended up not using the Proxon because getting the Proxon in here to actually, yeah, that cut would have been possible, but cutting down here, yeah, not going to happen. So I used just a trusty saw blade and a file to saw down and crisscross out the rough, and then use the file to do the fine work. And it's sufficient. Oh yeah, and of course I ended up filing enough space to fit the whole Arduino, and now I have plenty of space to put the board in here, hopefully. Yeah. Yeah, enough space. Okay, what I need now is some form of bracket, which I can attach here, and then going to a right angle, so I can screw it to the board. Let's see what I can find. So I still got that piece of, yeah, that was the enclosure of a old CD or DVD-ROM, I guess. Yeah, we already used that too. And this time I'm cutting it with my table saw. Yeah, link, card link. And yeah, I also put a little bit of cutting oil on it, and this should be a high carbon hardened blade. So yeah, we will see what happens. Well, that went through like butter. That's nice. I don't know if it was the, yeah, did I mention that? Cutting oil? Yeah, but it worked. Nice. So this went smoother than I thought. In fact, this is much easier than cutting epoxy glass fiber PCB material. I mean, this is, yeah, it's not very thick, but it's 0.6 millimeter sheet metal, and with the cutting oil and that little high carbon blade, high carbon steel blade, hardened of course, made really short process of it. So now I will bend it. I don't think I need to show you that. I've bent enough stuff in my time. All is bent. I did that of course in the vise. And now I need a tiny little cutout here for the micro USB. Yeah, I would say Dremel, but I'm not sure. Yeah, let's just do a cutout here. Well, I'll probably just file it. We have a nice cutout for the USB, so even with a plug there should be no problem at all. The board will be raised a little bit with yeah, some washers, so yeah, we'll see how centric that will be in the end, but yeah, should work. So next thing is yeah, 2 holes, mount the board. This is just the pre-assembly because I have to drill 2 more holes here. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, so I drilled the holes and I yeah, glued a little bit of isolation sheet in here so that my ground plane that goes to the edge of the board never be able to touch that metal piece, which will be earth ground. And yeah, I don't want to be my signal ground connected to earth ground. And I have cut out and drilled a second isolation sheet just to go under the board. And in assembly, there should be a bolt. I mean, I would call it a screw, but since a nut goes on it, it's a bolt. Washer and bolt. And the idea is here because I need to tighten these screws really, really hard. That the washers here spread the load a little bit on the PCB material. And then we add just a few nylon washers. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, where the screw the bolt goes through that part of the PCB is of course isolated, but yeah. I don't know, 2 washers, 3 washers, let's go with 3 washers. And the isolation sheet. And then the whole thing should go, am I still in focus? On here. Yeah, and 3 washers basically, see that? Yeah, hit the sweet spot. So yeah, the leads of the connectors are just touching, and it's, yeah. And yeah, it's nicely centered. So yeah, just at the nuts here. Just hand tied it. I just need to yeah, to see where I need space inside, so I can slide the thing around inside the case to mark the last 2 holes. Yeah. I'll come back to you when I did the holes, and we're actually mounting that inside. So I have marked the holes, but during fitting I noticed that the USB connector was a little bit high and interfered actually with the cutout in the case. So, and there are 2 reasons for that. First, it was a little bit high. Second, my bolts and screws were interfering here with some metal parts. So what I did was, first of all, I took two third height nuts. Can you see that? These nuts are not that high like the normal ISO nuts. I mean, there are also some ISO number, but yeah, they are a little bit not as high. And I took, of course, shorter screws compared to the initial screws. And that really hurt me. I had to take out a washer. And now the board is a little bit, you know, with a little slant in here towards the connectors, but maybe I can cut the connector pins and eliminate that too. We'll see. Yeah, drilling these, and then we try to fit it all into the case. So it's all finished now. And yeah, snipping off the leads of the connectors really helped. So yeah, I'm happy again. The holes are in. Now I stumbled about a little problem. If I try to mount that here, I have actually absolutely no way to, yeah, on that side it would work to, yeah, get a nut in somehow, but on this side, yeah, no way. And you can't really access that from the top because it's closed. But not to worry, that back plate here, the inner back plate, the metal back plate, can be removed. I think it's only 2 screws somewhere. So yeah, give me a sec. That was no problem at all. Yeah, all I need to do now is screw that in here. And yeah, I thought about it. I can, if it's assembled, if it's screwed in, still insert it back into the case and attach the 2 screws back here again. So yeah, not another cul-de-sac. I mounted it and it looks good. And I should be able, if I put it the right way around, to to insert that and fix the screws again. And yeah, here you can also see where I ran into the problem. Give me a sec. Yeah. Here were my screws touching and basically shifting the whole stuff upwards. But yeah, I think the opening for the USB port is also perfect. That is, one could make sure by putting in a USB cable, of course. Yeah, perfect. No problem at all. And this is really sturdy, so no problem applying a little bit of force when, inserting a USB cable. Wonderful. And now the whole thing has to go back inside here. The controller is in and cabled up, and it's time to close the whole thing again. But before that, a few nostalgia shots. I mean, that was the old controller. Okay, for a scanner. Sitting here, yeah, you can have a look at the initial teardown video. Card link of that scanner. Quite interesting. And here was the... Let me put it the right way in. Yeah, this way. Here was sitting the old power board. Of course, much bigger. Powering fluorescent lights and stuff in that old thing. But yeah, interesting. And yeah, cabling looks really nice. So it's time to close it up. And I mean, what a difference when I started out with the power board to the PCBs I'm doing now. Yeah. Anyway, closing up now. So it's all closed up now. Yeah, I short screws, long screws. I marked that when I did the initial teardown already. Did a card and a link. Yeah, let's turn this thing around and close up the other side. I cleaned the inside with alcohol as good as I could, especially, of course, the glass plate. And yeah, there was actually a lot of, you know, black dust. I call it the high voltage dust. You see it also in old television sets that still had a CRT. That comes from the CFL lamps, from the high voltage used to run the CFL lamps. It finds its way to build up somewhere, and then you have, yeah. Okay, I put it together now. And there it is, screwed together, nothing loose, in all of its UV emitting glory. Yeah. Only thing left on mechanical work to do would be to make the cutout here, so I can actually see the display and access the keypad while the lid is closed. That would be a nice idea, huh? Yeah, I probably do show that together with the fixes for the small software bugs in the next and probably last video of this playlist, of this build. Till then, bye.